West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
6 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. It's a little bit of a different day today, broadcasting to you from the Independence Institute down in Denver, Colorado. They've got a great studio here, Bill.
Oh, do they? Never been there.
They do. Yeah. They've got fantastic studios, including with some audio tracks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jeff and Bill Show. Can you hear that?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, listen, we got
nice.
we got live audience down here. They're cheering us on.
Oh, that's wonderful. Or at least you.
Fun about that all day.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting down here because a little bit later this morning, I've got a court date. Actually, I don't have a court date. The dude that kicked me in the back's got a court date. So if you remember this from a few months ago, I was down at the anti-ICE rally in Denver, Colorado. This was just 4 or 5 days after the anti-ICE rallies that took place in Los Angeles. And that was kind of a turning point in the rallies. Because if you recall, there's been rallies since Donald Trump got elected. Pretty much every weekend, there's been a rally against Donald Trump somewhere in the city of Denver. In some cases, most cases, pretty peaceful. Just Bernie bros and boomers and suburban housewives taking on their white guilt and coming on down for a day without an immigrant, for instance. And so it was one of those other rallies. But then when Los Angeles took place and they started burning cop cars and throwing bricks and all that other stuff, well, you kind of saw a pivot, a message sent that was get violent. So we're down covering the anti-ICE rally, talking to people, interviewing, creating all this content that you often see on my social media feeds, and even had a security guard. But lo and behold, dude comes and sucker kicks me in the back, right through my backpack. I mean, it was pretty jarring. I end up chasing the guy down to get his face on camera so that we can prosecute him, because you can't be doing that. And Bill, if there was a Tea Party rally and Kyle Clark, for instance, got kicked in the back, well, you'd hear all about it. And rightfully so, because as much as you may like or dislike a member of the media, you can't just assault them. So chase the guy down, get his face on camera, internet, 8 million views of that video. Biggest thing ever. And people help identify who the guy is, who his brother is. They were exactly right in doing this. Send that to the police. Police charge the guy with assault. And today is the arraignment. An arraignment is when you have to show up before the court and the charges are read before you. So I'll be in the courtroom watching this all happen a little bit later this morning. So that's why we're down here at the Independence Institute.
Oh, that's
But Bill, I drove down this morning, and typically, you know, our studios are at 225 in Parker.
Yes.
And 4 times between Broadway and I-25 and the Independence Institute, which is off of 16th Street, 4 times traffic had to stop as some zombie-like person just walked out in the middle of the street.
Oh, wow.
Like, no crosswalk, no, like, time to go, no red light, none of that stuff.
Wow.
Just people like zombies. 4 times. Jeez. All traffic had to stop for some person just wandering around. It was like something out of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, or Or after they release the bars at the end of the night, too. Yeah, right. That's the other one, too. Seen that there, too. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yep, exactly.
The crowd loved that one.
You're going to have so much fun with that.
So thank you to John Caldera for the entire Independence Institute team
yes, thank
for
you.
allowing us to be down here. Y'all are fantastic. So we got a great show for you. We're going to give you the latest on the James Craig trial update. This is the dentist in Aurora that allegedly poisoned his wife. And what we learned yesterday is that he allegedly not just poisoned his wife once, but twice.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a pattern here. So we'll give you the latest update on the James Craig trial coming up. Then Jason Crow doing his part, checking in on those ICE facilities. Not just once, not just twice, but over and over and over again, and then making a video all about it. Some response posts coming from John Fabricatori. We'll give you the latest on Jason Crow and his surprise ICE visits. And then I'm going to be handing the show over to Bill Thorpe in the later part of the show. So you're definitely going to want to tune into this because he is unleashed.
Yeah, they're letting me go on this unsupervised. This will be interesting. So, yeah, we'll see. And we'll have to see. I've got some stuff, basic stuff that I want to talk about, but I've got kind of a side topic. And I'm not going to talk about it with you, Jeff, right now. We may get onto it later tonight. But this comes from, we'll just preface it as recent personal experience. The question that we may discuss later on is, 1, who was your worst roommate? And 2, how long would it take you to figure out they're dead?
Oh,
yes,
like if nobody had told you?
This comes from personal experience in the recent past. So I will unveil all the story and all the background. No. I'm not even going to touch anything else. I'm not answering any questions. Nope. That's for later in the show. No. This is something we may talk about later, depending if we burn through other topics and some other stuff. But that's one of the things that's kicking around in the back of my mind because of recent personal experience. I will talk about it. But the question is, who's that roommate you hated that you just couldn't get along with? And then, how long would it take you to notice if they were dead?
Like while still living together?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we'll talk about it. I'll tell the story, but that'll be later today. That's later today after you go, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. I know. Yeah, this is a story, and it's a little creepy. So this is going to be fun.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
That is. I wish I had. I don't even know what these buttons do. They're just bright color buttons.
Yeah, just going to tell you. I may or may not now know what a dead body smells like after it's been sitting there for a while.
What?
We'll talk about it later.
What?
Again, we'll talk about it later. Yeah.
And I got to be in a courtroom while you're doing this?
I know.
Bro.
I know. I was sitting there and I'm like, I can't do it this morning right now. I'm going to save it for later. So that's the reason. I'll catch you up later, though, my friend.
Bill
I will,
Thorpe.
I promise. I'll catch you up later.
I'm going to be tuning in on the podcast
dude,
afterwards.
Yeah, it's not a good smell. Just saying.
I was looking up the trial docket today on everything because I've never had to go to court for somebody that assaulted me before. This is all new. Whole thing's
exactly.
new. So I was looking up things that are on there, and it's like public urination. Not the guy that hit me, but other people.
Yeah.
On the docket. So.
Oh yeah, that's great. So
yeah, so you're going to be talking about this crazy story, and I got to listen to people being arraigned on public urination.
Yep. Enjoy, my friend. Enjoy.
Someone's going to have a better day. This is kind of a weird day, Bill.
Yeah, tell me.
Because not only is this happening this morning, but at 2:00, my wife gets sworn in as a member of a school board.
Hey, congratulations! That's fantastic.
She got appointed.
Wow.
So I've got this sit in a courtroom and listen to arraignments on public urination and assault. And then later today, new high point for my wife's career.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's just one of those weird days in life.
So in other words, you're saying in the future it's her fault if the kids aren't doing the right things.
I did tell neighbors that, because she's already a planning commissioner, if you have problems with roads, here's her cell phone.
Good. And the other part is, how much pressure does that put on the young ones in your household?
to perform well, right?
Oh, yeah. They can't show up with it. Even are B's acceptable if mom's on the school board?
Of course
Again, not their school board, but...
B's have never been acceptable.
I know, but I'm just saying. There's some more pressure there. More pressure. More pressure for the Hunt kids.
My kids aren't listening right now, but when my kids are like, Dad, let me see your grade report cards.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. All A's are expected. Young man.
I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side of that, where with my kids, they're like, "Let me see your grades," and my wife's like, "You do not want to challenge your husband, my husband, on his grades. You do not want to." I mean, he graduated college with honors. Yeah, I mean, I didn't come out with straight A's, but I graduated with like a 3.8 GPA. So yeah, I can do my stuff. So they did not want to. Yeah, they did not want to compare.
Dude, I bet you drove your teachers nuts because I bet they were like, Bill's not paying attention. Bill's not paying attention. Then you drop like 100% on the test.
There are a lot of those, where I wasn't engaged enough in class. But yeah, I knew my stuff. Yeah, a lot of those. But once they learned, and again, it was a system. That was it. Once you figured out what you were doing. But yeah, the kids, they don't like that. And there are times where they're like, Dad, you don't understand. I'm like, wait, hang on a sec here. I'm like, let me tell you about honors chemistry. Let's talk about honors geology. Let's talk about let's walk
honors
through this.
Geology?
Yeah, let's talk.
Is that
through
a real class?
Yeah, yep, yeah. It helped me work. I worked in a fire assay lab because of it for a while. Yeah, like taking
what is a fire assay lab?
It's where you get core samples from mines. And then you distill them down to what's inside of them. You basically melt down and sift out all the particles. So you look at the concentrations. Depends what you're looking for. Gold, copper, palladium, stuff like that. So you're looking for the valuable metals inside of the soil samples to see if this is a strong vein. So they'll send you soil samples and you got a whole bunch of tests. Yeah, it's the fun part is when you get to take the glass bead out of a kiln that's running north of 800, 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's fun. Because that'll melt stuff if you're not careful. You got the big gloves on and the little clampers and stuff. That's fun. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun.
Impressive.
Oh, wow, the stuff that I did. Yeah, it's bizarre. And that's why when my kids are like, Dad, you don't understand. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Yeah, we'll talk.
Well, we've got a great show for you. Stick around. Now it's time for News and Comment with Mr. Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Hey, good Tuesday morning, 65 and partly cloudy in Denver. Really nice morning outside, expecting a high of 90 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234. To learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story.
I was ready to wake up this morning to hear about some of these raids that should have been going on. There should, as a minimum, be a task force assembled by of federal law enforcement authorities, as well as a assigned, dedicated, prosecutor at the DOJ level, at the Attorney General level. Someone who is working directly for her and for the President of the United States. This has got to happen very quickly.
General Flynn, who was one of the victims of the Obama regime, the communist lefties, had a long-term scam and scheme to destroy who the American people elected, DJT, and now it's time for Barry and the Dirty D's to be held accountable. Attorney Mike Davis.
He might be able to claim presidential immunity for his actions while he was the president of the United States, and they'll have to litigate that, right? It's unclear whether he'll ultimately get presidential immunity for this, but I'll tell you this, it's an ongoing criminal conspiracy, and presidential immunity covers his actions while he's the president of the United States. They don't cover his actions when he's the former president of the United States and when he's participating in the cover-up of this conspiracy, then he doesn't have presidential immunity.
Speaker Mike Johnson wants accountability from the former president as well.
I mean, we have no concern about that. If it's uncomfortable for him, he shouldn't have been involved in overseeing this, which is what it appears to us has happened. There's a lot of allegations on the table. Our job is to go and follow each of those trails and to find out the truth. So those are very serious allegations with very serious implications, but we're going to have very serious people working on it, and we will get the answers.
Johnson also saying Monday there won't be a vote on releasing the Epstein-related files before Congress breaks in August. DJT called for a grand jury transcripts to be made public. Denver Mayor Johnston upbeat about the city's progress during his first 2 years in office. State of the City address on Monday. He said the number of people living on the streets is down 45%.
We've reopened sidewalks to pedestrians and businesses. We have moved 7,000 people off the streets and moved 5,000 people into permanent housing. And in the process, we became the largest American city ever to end the cycle of street homelessness for veterans.
Johnston says that Denver police will be turning its focus to handling quality of life crimes like theft and public drug use. A bicycle rider has died after a hit-and-run crash in Denver. Police were called to the area of West 38th Ave and Tejon last night to investigate a crash between a bicycle and another vehicle. The bicycle rider was pronounced dead at the scene. No information about the other vehicle involved in the crash was available last night. Thousands of pages of the MLK files have been released and include FBI investigation notes, leads, and details about assassin James Earl Ray's former cellmate, according to Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard. The Pentagon is pulling the Marines out of L.A. They were deployed there, of course, in response to enforcement of the violent nut jobs in Southern California. Tributes are pouring in for Malcolm Jamal Warner after reports he drowned on Sunday while vacationing in Costa Rica. Fans in his birthplace of Jersey City are remembering the 54-year-old Cosby Show star for his impact on Americans through television. The interim CEO of Astronomer is looking at the brighter side after the former CEO and top human resources exec were caught having the affair on Kiss Cam at the Coldplay concert. New CEO Pete DeJoy said that on LinkedIn that the spotlight has been unusual, but now the AI data operations startup is a household name. Elon says his AI company xAI is considering a kid-friendly version of its chatbot Grok called Baby Grok. The news comes shortly after xAI released Grok 4. Cardinals beat the Rockies last night 6-2. Tonight, first pitch 6:40 at Coors with the Cardinals and the Rockies. Jeff and Billy, they continue at 62 in Broomfield, 63 in Littleton, 65 in Denver, and the fellas are ready to go on a Tuesday.
No, it wasn't.
I can go back to 2016 in November and September.
Bill,
Joe, hang on a second.
I'm telling you, there's going to be some people that are going to go into questioning in the FBI.
That's fine.
I can go back. There's going to be some questioning, Bill?
I can go back to September.
Is there going to be some questioning?
Joe, yes, there's going to be questioning.
Yes, let's go. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast will have fair skies starting Tuesday. Temps will be in the low 60s, then we'll get back to around 90 or the low 90s. Morning sunshine with more scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Showers and thunderstorms looking likely Wednesday and Thursday. A few stronger ones, heavier showers at times. Highs will be in the mid-80s with lows upper 50s. Skies clear in the overnight. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call 720-851-1691. or visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
James Craig back in court yesterday. He'll be in again today. This is expected to be a 3-week trial. This is the dentist from Aurora, formerly advertiser on 710 KNUS. Bill Thorpe's dentist.
Yeah.
Stephen Tubbs' dentist.
Oh, yeah.
Who allegedly poisoned his wife with things like cyanide to kill her in order to maintain an affair he was having. This is a national story. It's already made 48 Hours or 2020, one of them. Stephen Tubbs was featured in it along with George Brockler. So our goal for you during the 6 o'clock hour while the trial is taking place, give you an update on what happened the day before. We're going to hear from different folks throughout the course of this trial. We have some reporters from the Gazette that will be joining us later this week. But Nikki Harmon, yesterday, this is from DenverGazette.com, choked back tears on Monday morning telling a jury she was, quote, best friends, unquote, with Angela Craig, who was allegedly poisoned twice by her husband, James Craig. Craig told Harmon about the first time he drugged Angela in 2019, an attempt to commit suicide without Angela waking up to stop him.
Yeah, repeat that again slowly.
Yes.
Because this could be a prior pattern of behavior. So walk through that again. What did the alleged killer dentist do back in 2019?
James Craig told Nikki Harmon, who was, quote, best friends, unquote, with Angela Craig, about the first time he drugged his wife, Angela, in 2019, an attempt to commit suicide without Angela waking up to stop him.
Yeah. So he's admitted to a friend of the wife that he has drugged his wife before and centering around death. But it was him committing suicide, not her. When he was faced with another similar choice, would he go back and try to do the thing he did before? Likely. But who knows? Let's see what the jury decides.
Establishing a pattern here.
Exactly.
But, I mean, my goodness, this guy, if he's trying to do the P. Diddy defense of, yes, I'm a scumbag, but I'm not that much of a scumbag, I understand how it may be the best defense option in this case because there's so much overwhelming evidence against him, but sure coming off like a scumbag.
Yeah, and according to some of the testimony, something I found very curious, and again, this is what we're hearing from the friend of the wife who is deceased. Now, the friend is presenting herself as the best friend and having conversations with James Craig, who's accused of killing his wife. One of the things I thought was interesting in her story was she was able to relay that the doctor had drugged his wife enough to make her pass out and she wouldn't wake up to stop the suicide, but he didn't necessarily have the suicide plan. And what I mean by that is the testimony that I'm familiar with, and there may be more that I don't know, from the friend is he was planning on injecting himself with something. Hang on. Let's go back a little bit and review that part of the trial so far is walking through that the dentist allegedly did research about drugs that would kill someone after they were ingested, drugs that would be difficult to find in an autopsy. And he searched several different options. And I think that's important only because in the scenario surrounding his wife, he's done pre-research and decided on what. In fact, he tests. I mean, my theory is he tests dosage a couple of times because she has some prior illnesses. However, when we're talking about him planning to unalive himself, and he does go so far as to drug his wife so he knows what to use there and has made a plan, he hasn't identified the drugs he's using to kill himself. Really? Really? The man that identified the drugs that he was going to use to knock his wife out during this time, and later on he identified the drugs he was going to use to kill her, allegedly. We don't have him identifying the drugs he's going to use for suicide. When you're in the ideation portion of that death spiral, and it is a death spiral, you talk about plans. You look at possibilities. The fact that, to me, the fact that he does not talk to the wife's best friend about what he was going to use is significant. And not only does he doesn't just avoid it, he says it's with something. So he does breach the subject of injecting himself for suicide, but hasn't decided on the drugs. Yet he decided on the drugs to knock her out and decided on the drugs later on to kill her. To me, there's something sideways about that story. There's something sideways because he would have decided on the drug already to kill himself. He would have decided.
Right.
It's not something you make at the last decision. Nobody sits there and makes plans to kill themselves and then decide, okay, now I'm going to do it today. How am I going to do it? The ideation, the ideation of the plan comes first. You have to say, I'm going to do it this way and this way and this way. Yeah.
But I know what I'm definitely going to do. I'm going to get pokey with my wife with a syringe.
Exactly. That's the thing. And it's unfortunate because I've dealt with people in my own circle that have done, they've attempted suicide. So I understand psychologically how these steps go. You don't just think, I need to. There's a plan before you take the step of drugging the wife. You know how you're going to do it. In my experience, with everybody else I've known.
And I mean, I understand.
I thought that was weird.
I understand the murder-suicide activity, right? Like you're going to kill somebody and then kill yourself.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I've never heard ever of someone going, I'm going to kill myself and I'm going to make sure those around me are drugged to the point they can't stop me. Like I've never heard that before. Here's Channel 7. Prosecutor Ryan Brackley asked how Nikki, the best friend, knew Angela Craig. And she tearfully said they had met in the fall of 2000. In 2004, they lived a few doors down from each other in Kansas City. They had kids that were about the same age and raised them while their husbands were in dental school. She was also friendly with James Craig. We had been best friends then, and then we moved to Colorado and stayed best friends for a long time. As their kids got older, the dynamics changed a bit, and they didn't see each other as much. No surprise there. That happens with everybody. Nikki Harmon testified. She explained that they had confided in each other, but not the, quote, extremely, unquote, private parts of their lives. She said Angela Craig was not a risk taker and would not describe her as manipulative. Harmon said she knew the Craigs went to marriage counseling and that they were likely having issues, but she noted that no marriage is perfect. So it was what it was. She added that for Angela Craig, her kids were her life. For the most part of her life, she devoted all of her time to raising them and to being home with them. So in my opinion, she was giving all of her time and energy to their well-being. She described the morning of March 9th, 2023, when Angela Craig texted her and asked her to come to her house and test her blood sugar. Harmon explained that her daughter is a type 1 diabetic, so she had the necessary items to perform the test. Angela Craig did not explain why she needed the test, Harmon said, and Harmon did not know about the health issues Angela Craig had been dealing with between March 6th and March 9th due to James Craig's alleged poisoning of her smoothies. When Harmon got to the Craig's house, she found Angela Craig on the couch with her kids watching cartoons and said she did not look well. Her friend described how she had not slept well and had been on a bike ride and came home feeling sick, so she went to an urgent care. She was concerned she was having a, quote, diabetic episode of some sort, unquote, Harmon said. Angela Craig had talked with her siblings about diabetes to see if her symptoms aligned. Harmon told the court that she noted a protein shake next to her lap when Angela Craig said her husband had made it for her. Harmon suggested she also eat some crackers to help increase her blood sugar. Harmon testified that she had left to take her daughter to school, and when she returned to the Craig household with soup around 11:30 a.m., she realized Angela Craig had gone to the hospital. That day, Harmon texted with James Craig starting around the time she realized her friend was in the hospital. The texts were shown in court, with Harmon writing, "Wow, what the heck? You got any ideas what might be going on?" to James Craig, and him replying, "It's the coronavirus." Interesting. The following day, March 10th, 2023, James Craig wrote a text to Harmon to say his wife did not have diabetes and that he had no idea what was ailing Angela Craig. Harmon said she texted her friend while she was hospitalized, and Angela Craig also did not know what was wrong. Prosecutor Brackley then asked Harmon to bring the court back to 2019 to a specific incident when the Craigs visited the Harmon's household. During the visit, James Craig said he had been dealing with a sexual addiction, Harmon testified. He told us he had been dealing with this addiction for a long time, that it had gotten to the point where he was going to or had thought about killing himself. He used the term sexual addiction, but there was no specification. And so he told us that one night he was planning to inject himself with something to kill himself, and he had drugged Angie to make sure that she didn't wake up and stop him. Harmon said she didn't remember how she reacted upon learning this, but recalled that Angela Craig said she was going to stay in the marriage and help her husband work through it in group counseling and therapy. Harmon noted that only James Craig spoke about the alleged drugging incident and that Angela Craig did not say anything about whether or not she had been drugged. After this conversation in 2019, Harmon said Angela Craig seemed to want space from Harmon, and so they talked less and it just became different. She tried texting Angela saying that she wished she knew she could have helped. Harmon testified that Angela Craig felt as though her friends were not there for her during such hard times. Now, during the cross-examination, which was led by defense attorney Lisa Moses, Harmon said that her husband and James Craig knew each other since they were teenagers and then went on to dental school. She added she spent time with the Redferns as well. Remember, Michelle Redfern had testified on July 16th, and her husband, Ryan Redford, who was business partners with James Craig, testified the following day. They were all close in dental school and shared the same faith. When the Harmon family moved to Colorado, her husband ended up working for James Craig. Defense attorney Moses asked about the evening when the Craigs visited the Harmons in 2019, and Harmon's text to Angela Craig afterwards. "You texted her. I'm sorry. I wish you had told me," Moses asked, and Harmon said yes. Angela responded, "And she was mad?" Moses asked Harmon again, responding yes, confirming that her friend responded angrily. Harmon said she knew her friend was angry with what was happening in her marriage and was taking out her frustration on Harmon, which Harmon said she was okay with, but the relationship was limited after 2019. In a redirect examination, Harmon told the court that Angela Craig was protecting her husband, and she understood why. "I don't think you can tell your best friend that your husband is cheating on you and have that not change everything," Harmon said on the stand, "because your best friend is going to look at your husband as the biggest scumbag." Despite having a limited relationship in 2019, when Angela Craig called Harmon on March 9th, 2023, She went right over to the Craig house. Now, Bill, we talked about the difference between James Craig and Angela and how they were responding to the sickness.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, in this case with Angela, and remember, the defense is arguing that Angela was playing chicken and wanted to kill herself, and that James Craig ordered the cyanide as an effort to almost dare her to kill herself with the hopes that she wouldn't. That's the defense's argument.
That's totally reasonable for people to do. That's absolutely what you do.
But in this case, again, Angela, and this is like a deal maker for me.
Yeah.
Angela keeps trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, as far as the health issues.
Right?
She's like, why is this going on?
Exactly. If you're sick and you're dealing with this stuff and you don't know why, you remember she kept Googling her, she basically did the WebMD.
Yeah.
Like, why, it's like throwing symptoms into a computer to figure out what's going on. And then she has a friend come over and ask her to bring a diabetes kit to see maybe if she's struggling with diabetes all of a sudden. This isn't a woman killing herself. She wouldn't be doing all this if she was trying to kill herself.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. The other thing that's really weird is there's other pieces of the testimony where they bring in one of the attending physicians when she arrives at the hospital eventually. And the physician says that Angela's brain swelling is so significant they likely would not be able to reverse it, even if they knew from Jump Street that she had ingested cyanide. That it was so far along that they probably could not have done anything. The attending physician also points out that Dr. Craig never told anybody in the medical facility that his wife had ingested cyanide, either playing chicken is suicide or because he gave it to her. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and this is just kind of a throwaway that was laid on in one of the wrap-ups that I saw, was a series of questions from the prosecutor to one of the nurses, and it had to do with when Angela Craig crashed, but also had to do with the IV line that was attached to her. And I just thought it was interesting. And again, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but whoever was writing the wrap-up thought it was significant enough to at least include it in the wrap. So I want to at least give airtime to it, is that they asked the nurse if we first talked about injecting saline solution into that IV port, and they said, yes, that's normal. And then the prosecutors asked about anything else being injected into that port. And so what I'm curious about is, does the prosecution think that perhaps James Craig added additional drugs into her system while she was in the hospital?
Yeah, because he was left alone with her. Yeah. And then at one point, she ends up in a pretty significant seizure.
Yeah. So, and they say it was a full body seizure. Normally they'd expect it on extremities. And so the fact that the prosecution asked about the ability to inject the drugs, and they did ask a syringe with a needle, and would it be possible to do this? And the nurse basically said, yes, you could. The fact that was a line of questioning I found curious, and at least whoever's doing the wrap, and I wish I remembered your reporter's name, so I'm sorry about that, found it curious enough too. So I wanted to bring that to the air, that I'm wondering if there's something else that happened in the hospital that we don't know yet. It just seems like, I don't know why you'd ask that question if you weren't going to go down that. If you weren't going to go down that pathway, why would you open the door? It's a better way to put it.
Listen to these cyanide levels.
Yeah.
Okay. So an average person, normal person, who doesn't smoke has 0.025 milliliters per liter.
Yeah.
Okay, of cyanide. So it exists naturally, but very small quantities.
Yeah.
If you smoke, it's about double that, 0.41 milliliters per liter.
Because the tobacco companies love you. That's why. Putting it in there for you.
Yeah, wait till they buy up all the marijuana companies.
Exactly.
Amounts above 3 millimeters can be fatal. Okay, so 0.025 normal, 0.4 smoker.
Yeah.
Anything above 3, so you got to get a lot more.
Yeah,
almost 10 times more.
And this is milliliters, so we all remember that from chemistry class, the little tiny ones. Yeah, on a little beaker.
She had 5.865 milliliters.
Wow, that's almost twice what can be fatal. That's
right.
Crazy.
Almost twice what's necessary to be fatal, and way above. I mean, I can't do the difference because she's not a smoker.
No.
But between 5.8 milliliters and 0.025, which is what most people have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really big number.
Yeah, that's something that has been, introduced into your body. That's something either, yourself accidentally or someone else has done it. Yeah, that is not something you just run across naturally. You don't end up with twice the fatal limit of cyanide without something else happening.
Now, my reading of what happened yesterday, you don't get James Craig denying the belief or the claim that he injected her previously.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You get kind of questions about the relationship, how close, how friends were you are, that type of thing. But I'm not reading in this that, James Craig's out there going, I never told her that.
Yeah, that's not
true. I
true.
never injected my wife in an effort to kill myself.
Yeah, I didn't do that before.
I'm going to go back to this again and say, I understand murder-suicide.
Yeah.
I have never in my life heard drug somebody so I can kill myself. I guess you want them to wake up and be able to take care of the kids, maybe, but
guess so.
Still.
And this is awful, but I have a number of people in my life that have decided to, that this was it.
Yeah.
They do it alone.
Right.
That's the other part is you don't want someone around. And I understand the idea of the doctor saying I wanted to drug her so that, she couldn't stop me. But most of the time, the people that are going to go through with it find times to do it alone because if that person wakes up too soon, they're going to stop it. If that drug doesn't work properly, they're going to stop it. And that's not what you want. If you do have this plan to go ahead and kill yourself, again, if you've gone far enough to make the plans and you're going to follow through on them, you don't want anybody around to try and stop those plans. It's the people that tell you, I'm going to commit suicide that are trying not to because they're crying for help. The people that don't tell you are the ones that will. That's what you learn. Yeah.
It's scary.
It's very scary.
And then you combine that again with who's searching for the drugs to kill.
Yes.
And it's not Angela.
Nope.
Not in her. She's throwing in these symptoms into WebMD type searches to try to figure out what's going on. Oh, but there is somebody in this relationship that's like, how can cyanide kill? How much cyanide can be given without it popping up in an autopsy? And it's not Angela.
Nope, not at all. And that's a little scary. And it's, again, I like your idea that why didn't Craig's defense jump up and down and say, no, he never tried to drug her previously because he was going to commit suicide. That's interesting. I didn't actually recognize that. That's very clever. I appreciate that because you would assume, no, this is not our client's behavior. But if they let it stand, then yes, they're admitting that our client is okay administering drugs to his wife without her knowledge. That's what they're admitting if they let this stand. That yes, our client administers drugs to his wife without her knowledge.
Yeah. It goes back to the defense again. Well, I didn't want to kill her because in order to get out of the marriage because I'd been cheating all along.
Yeah. I didn't like the marriage to begin with. And so, yeah.
Well, we've got You Choose the News coming up. Plus, we'll get into Jason Crow. We've been running late today, but we'll continue to give the updates on this trial, and we'll talk with reporters as the week goes on. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
We are Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. It's that time of the morning to get you going on this Tuesday. A little You Choose the News.
Yes, it's that time of the morning when we get to make questionable decisions. It's You Choose the News, America's favorite fake radio news game show. You know how this works? I've spent mere moments this morning browsing the interwebs for really dumb stories about us humans, giving them even more ridiculous headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show. Why would we do this? Because those in charge have no idea we are this irresponsible with the airtime this early in the morning. They don't wake up until 7, so when left unsupervised, yeah, this is what happens. As always, we bring in Blake Olson from the news department to share in the blame. I mean, the festivities. So, yeah, don't worry. He's a fall guy, just so we know. He knows that, too. All right, now. It is. Now, gentlemen, here are your stories this morning. Choose wisely. Headline number 1, small and disadvantaged. Headline number 2, grab the right guy. Headline number 3, the taste of comedy. And headline number 4, fighting for traditional values. Mr. Hunt, your choice, sir.
Let's start with fighting for traditional values.
Yes, it's always a good idea when you fight for traditional values. That is exactly what American Derek Huffman said he is going to do. That's the reason that he moved his family from Texas to Russia, because of traditional values. Now, while in Russia, you can fast-track citizenship if you join the military. Now, Mr. Derek, after moving his family there, said, yes, absolutely, I will fast-track citizenship, and I will fight for the values of Russia to show how good I am. So, well, that's not true, because he talked to the military recruiters, and the military recruiters said, no, sir, you have skill as a welder. You are very valuable to us. We need that skill, and we need that. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you just a bit of 2-week easy training, and then you're going to be put in as a welder, and you're going to be into the family and everything else, and that's great. So, yes, Derek, unfortunately, did go through not 2 weeks, but 3 weeks of training and has just been ordered to the front lines in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Has this guy never... What was that movie where... Oh, gosh. It's about the Russian soldiers, and one's a sniper, but they hand one guy a packet of bullets and another guy a gun.
Yeah. You're like,
one of you is going to get shot, so the other one just put it together and keep fighting.
Yeah. And so basically now he's very mad. He's upset, and of course, his wife is mad and everybody, and he's saying that he didn't want anybody to say they don't belong in Russia. He wanted to do his part, but his family is saying, wait, this is not what they told us. And yes, welcome to Russia. That's kind of what happens. His wife, Deanna, says he's feel like he's being thrown to the wolves right now. He's kind of having to lean on his faith. Yes, but again,
seriously,
you believed what the Russians were telling you about what they're going to do. That's a little bit on you.
And some pundits here in America.
Yes, would like to do that. And, again, it's okay. They can move. You can do the Rosie O'Donnell thing. You can do the Ellen DeGeneres thing. You can move. It's okay. You can do the thing that he did. All right. Now, here we go. Blake Olson, your choice, sir. Small and disadvantaged, grab the right guy, or the taste of comedy?
Let's go with the taste of comedy.
Yeah, the taste of comedy. Yet again. Comedy is delicious. Once again, Italian artist Maurizio Catalan has said that his artwork featuring a banana taped to a wall has been eaten by a visitor at the museum in France. The piece is titled Comedian. It was eaten by a gallery goer earlier this month. It is the third time this has happened. The security team has acted quickly and calmly according to internal procedures. The artwork was reinstalled just a few minutes later. Why? Because they had an extra banana.
I know.
Yeah.
Artwork.
I almost kind of appreciate what these folks are doing, because they're just showing the ridiculousness of this being considered art.
Yes. It is completely and absolutely ridiculous, because I'm sorry, when you just tape a banana, and what he said is he was trying to make a statement about comedy, and it was a performance art, and who cares? You were being lazy. Again, he was being lazy.
Weird.
It's not art if you can tape something on the wall and then someone can take it off and eat it. I'm not certain that qualifies as art. That's more like a chocolate, the chocolate pudding finger painting you did as kids.
Yeah.
That's just not, again.
Absolutely.
If someone can take your art off the wall and it can be replaced for 39 cents at the grocery store, it's not art.
No.
I'm just saying, if there's no skill other than duct tape and a fresh banana involved in what you're doing, again,
correct,
not art. Yeah. So,
amen.
It's just ridiculous. Alrighty. Final choice this morning, Mr. Hunt, small and disadvantaged, or grab the right guy?
Grab the right guy.
Yes, here we have to grab the right guy. Police have charged a man following the theft of dozens and dozens of shoes from a business in Kenmore, New Zealand. Around 7:30 in the evening, police allege a man entered a shopping center and stole 53 shoes. Now, it's amazing that the 49-year-old, Mount
53 pairs of shoes, or just 53?
Oh, that's the issue. See,
what, do you own an NFL football team or something?
49-year-old Mount Gravitt East man was arrested because he absconded with 53 shoes, but, of course, he got them from the shopping center. They were only the right foot. Yeah, he stole 53
all
That's hilarious.
That's great.
Because all the lefts were out on display.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the idea is now the police are saying it's not every day you come across a case involving the theft of 53 right shoes only. The incident is rather unique and different in nature. He said it's a reminder that our officers did take the report seriously. Fortunately, when we captured the man, because of only having a right shoe, he could just run around in circles. That's all he could do. So it was pretty easy to capture. Now, I may have added the last part, but that's I'm just
awesome.
saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
That's
nice.
it. Yeah, it's okay now. Question here. Have you guys? Now we're talking about stolen shoes. Now, have either of you ever possibly purloined a pair of footwear? Normally, you won't do it from the shopping center. How many of all have been bowling and haven't returned the shoes?
Oh, that happened to me one time, yes.
Yeah, it just happened? Just
on accident? You just walked out with them?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I forgot I had them on. Oh. That type of thing.
That's kind of funny.
Hey, go back and get your Buster Brown. Yeah,
did you go back and get your other shoes?
Yeah, I did. They were like Converse something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just thought those bowling shoes were cool too, though.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm a bit of a germaphobe. I can't wait. In fact, I don't even. I have my own shoes.
Oh, really?
I bring my own bowling shoes.
Wow. See, there was a time when I was bowling. This would be in high school, and it was really muddy and dirty outside, and so they didn't want to store all your shoes behind the counter. So they all just said, "Here, take these and take the shoes." And I looked at my friend and said, "Looks like I have a new pair of shoes." And they said, "Looks like you do." So, yes, I came home and I had a pair of bowling shoes.
Nice.
Yes.
How long did they last? I can't imagine those lasting long out in the real world.
Let's just say that eventually when I was in college and my father was cleaning out the closet in my room,
They're still there.
Call. Yeah. He's like, bowling shoes? I'm like, it's a long story, Dad. It's a long story. And he goes, I'll add it to the list. That's it. That's into you choose the news. Back to you, sir.
Speaking of long story, Jason Crow's outside an ice facility. We're going to give you the latest on that. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
710 KNUS.